Caleb. A sharp pinch on my lower back made me hiss. Was Chloe, my wife. On top of me sat my 3-year-old daughter, balancing on my stomach while whacking my face with a yellow duck balloon. "Get up, Daddy!" Mommy said, "If you don't wake up, the amusement park will close." And there she was, my little traitor, Mary Annie Jenna, always ready to sell me out. Handling her is tough enough, but handling my jealous wife is an even bigger challenge. My back ached from last night's workout, and today I was supposed to play the role of a human carousel. This was my daily routine, juggling a kid with one hand, a wife with the other, and catching friendly fire from both. "Daddy, Daddy, get up." That tiny voice drilled into my ear like it was coming from a megaphone. I was stuck between dream and reality when something soft kept smacking my face. Then came a sharp thwack that left my cheek tingling. "NGH," I groaned, trying to roll over, only to get smacked again on the other side. There wasn't much strength behind it, but the determination was unmistakable. It could only be my little tyrant. "Wake up, Daddy. The sun's gonna burn your butt," she shouted, hitting me with a flurry of little smacks like firecrackers. Finally, I opened my eyes to find a pair of big round ones staring at me. Her eyelashes fluttered as she studied her work. It was Mia, my 3-year-old. She had her mother's captivating eyes, but her mood was unpredictable. An angel one second, a tornado the next. My classic little traitor, right now, was kneeling on my stomach in a pink teddy bear onesie. Her messy hair sticking out everywhere, clutching a limp yellow balloon duck. She must have crawled straight from her bed into mine. "All right, Miss Mia," I said, catching her chubby arm and putting on my sternest face. "You know this counts as domestic assault, right?" She blinked at me, then burst into giggles. Sliding off my stomach, she bounced on the bed with her bare feet. "Daddy's a lazy bug. Mommy said if you don't get up, the amusement park will close." The amusement park. Right, I'd promised them last night we'd go to the new adventure park on the edge of town. No wonder she was on a mission. She'd probably been dreaming of that carousel all week. I pushed myself up, my head pounding, my back stiff. No one could blame me for oversleeping after last night's demanding cardio session. Spot beside me was empty. But Chloe's soft gardenia scent still lingered in the sheets. Speaking of my wife Chloe, 25, a year younger than me, and 5'8", with the posture of a model. Her long, lean legs, especially in heels, make me tilt my head up just to meet her eyes. She's a head-turner with bright eyes, a delicate nose, and lips that command attention. She looks aloof when she's not smiling, but when she does, those dimples of hers could steal your soul. And her figure. Let's just say she's got curves in all the right places. When I was courting her, my friends said I'd hit the jackpot landing a woman like her. We've been married 3 years now. Early fireworks have settled into a comfortable rhythm, spiced with passion when needed. She's perfect in almost every way except for one. Her jealousy could curdle milk. If I so much as talk to a female colleague for 2 minutes too long, I knew I was guaranteed an interrogation when I got home, and that wasn't even counting Jenna, who always seemed to find excuses to hang around me. Just then, the bedroom door creaked open. Tall figure leaned against the frame, arms crossed, watching me. Speak of the devil, it was my wife, Chloe. She wore a simple white knit sweater and a pair of light-washed jeans that hugged her curves perfectly. Her hair was tied up loosely, showing off the pale, elegant line of her neck. A sliver of morning sunlight cut through the blinds, lighting up the soft fuzz on her cheek. "Caleb," she said, her voice husky with sleep but carrying that authority you couldn't ignore. "Are you really going to let Mia perform a rock concert on your face all morning?" I quickly scooped up the still bouncing Mia, pulling her into my arms and tickling her until she shrieked, "I'm up! I'm up! Mia's my little alarm clock, more reliable than my phone. Daddy's mean. Mommy, save me." Mia squealed, flailing as Chloe walked over, gracefully plucked her out of my arms, and gave her a gentle pat on the butt.
"How
many times have I told you not to bully your father?" Chloe scolded softly. "He tickled me first." Mia whined, hugging Chloe's neck and burying her face in her shoulder. like she was lodging a righteous complaint. "All right, my fault," I said, raising my hands in surrender as I swung my legs off the bed. "I'm heading for the shower. Give me 10 minutes tops." Chloe, holding Mia, gave me a slow once-over. Her eyes paused at my lower back for a second, and that mischievous, knowing smile tugged at her lips. And who was it last night that swore he had endless energy and would definitely be the first one up today? She teased. My face heated as flashes of last night came rushing back her in that black silk slip, whispering about the new massage oil she bought. Yeah, probably better not to think about that. The more I thought about it, the worse my back ached. Double quotes, "Hey." I was up against some tough competition, I muttered, leaning in to kiss her. She dodged, turning her head away. "Don't even start," she said, stepping back with Mia still in her arms. She raised an eyebrow. "Get moving." Left breakfast warming in the kitchen. "If you take any longer, we'll miss the amusement park and the taco truck on the corner." "We'll be long gone, yes, ma'am." I bolted to the bathroom and was out in 5 minutes. The guy staring back at me in the mirror had faint dark circles under his eyes, but I still cleaned up pretty well. I'm 5'd in, still in shape, and I like to think I'm not too hard on the eyes. Otherwise, I never would have landed Chloe in the first place. I run a small manufacturing plant that makes custom electronic components. It's not huge, just a few dozen employees, but business has been steady for the past few years. We're not rolling in cash, but it's enough to give my wife and daughter a comfortable life. And honestly, that's all that matters. When I came out, Chloe had already dressed Mia. She was in red overalls with a white t-shirt, little white, sneakers, and her hair done up in 2 neat pigtails. She looked like she'd just stepped off a greeting card. "Look, Daddy." Mia spun in a circle with her arms stretched out. "Mommy did my hair," she announced proudly. "It's beautiful," I said, pinching her cheek. "Our Mia is the prettiest princess today. And Mommy?" she asked, tilting her head. "Mommy's the queen," I answered without hesitation. Chloe, putting on her shoes by the door, glanced back at me. She tried to hide it, but the corners of her mouth curved into a smile. "You're just a sweet talker." I walked over, grabbed my sneakers, and gave her a playful squeeze on the butt. Comes with the territory. Keeping my wife happy is a husband's most basic duty. "Stop it, Caleb," she said, swatting my hand away, cheeks faintly flushed. "Mia's right here." Mia covered her eyes with her tiny hands, but peeked through her fingers, giggling. "Daddy and Mommy are being all lovey-dovey again." "What do you know, you little munchkin?" Chloe muttered, still blushing as she pulled Mia's hands away from her face. Let's go. Off to the park." I pulled my black SUV out of the garage, plenty of space for family trips. Chloe sat in the back with Mia, and in the rearview mirror I saw our daughter settling in with her iPad, already lost in cartoons. Chloe leaned back against the seat, gazing out the window. The sunlight caught her profile, softening her features. She was beautiful. "Honey," I started, "should we eat at the park or find somewhere nearby for lunch?" "The park food's probably overpriced and terrible," she said, turning to me. "Let's find someplace else. Remember seeing a new bistro near there with great reviews. Sounds good? You're the boss?" Just then, my phone rang. It was one of the plant supervisors. He said there was a minor issue with a part shipment and asked if I could come take a look. "You can't handle something that small?" I asked, frowning. "I told you, unless it's a major problem, you have the authority to make the call." "I know, Cal, but it's the order from Ms. Stewart's company." My stomach dropped. Jenna Stewart. She runs a trading company and is one of our clients. She's a year older than me and attractive enough, I guess, but she doesn't have Chloe's spark. For some reason, she seems to think there's something between us. She's always finding excuses to come by the plant bringing coffee, wanting to discuss business. The way her eyes linger on me makes my skin crawl. Chloe met her twice, and the fallout was nuclear. "What's wrong with her shipment?" I asked, keeping my voice as neutral as I could. "There's a slight color mismatch on one of the components. You can barely see it unless you're looking for it. Miss Stewart said she'd prefer to discuss it with you personally." His voice was hesitant. I cursed under my breath. She wanted me to come in for that obvious excuse? Tell her I'll handle it this afternoon. I'm with my family right now. Hung up before he could argue. In the rear view, Chloe's expression had already soured. She fiddled with one of Mia's hair clips, saying nothing. What's wrong? Playing dumb. Nothing, she said coolly. Is Ms. Stewart's order that important? Not at all, I said quickly. It's a tiny issue. The supervisor can handle it. She's just trying to make something out of nothing. Forget her. Let's enjoy our day. Chloe just snorted, then turned to Mia. Mia, honey, what do you want to ride first when we get to the park? The carousel and the roller coaster, Mia shouted, bouncing with excitement. You're still too little for the roller coaster, Chloe said, smiling and pinching her cheek. Then I want to feed the pigeons. Okay, whatever you want. I glanced at Chloe's reflection in the mirror and knew what she was doing. That's how she is. She won't say what's bothering her, but her mind races. The smallest thing can set off a storm. Soon, the city fell behind us, the car humming down the road toward the amusement park. Trees blurred into green streaks, and sunlight dappled the pavement through the leaves. In the back, Mia had dozed off, her head resting on Chloe's shoulder, little mouth still mumbling carousel. Chloe stroked her back gently, her expression so tender it could melt your heart. Still mad? Still mad? Slowing the car a little, she was quiet before answering. No, you say that, chuckled. But you get that look whenever you're jealous. You're a terrible liar. What's there to be jealous about? She shot back, glancing at me. Miss Stewart is young, successful, and a major client. Good for business if you spend more time with her. Her voice dripped with sarcasm, but the words made warmth bloom inside me. She only got jealous because she cared. The day she stopped reacting, that's when I'd really start to worry. She's not a major client. It was a tiny order, I said, reaching for her hand on the armrest. She tried to pull away, but I held on. In my world, nobody is more important than you. Or our little Mia. Her fingers twitched, but didn't move. The corner of her lips curled. Such a sweet talker. Only for you, I murmured, bringing her hand to my lips and kissing her knuckles. Her cheeks flushed pink, and she shot me a playful glare, snatching her hand back to fuss with Mia's shirt, trying to hide her embarrassment. Watching the blush creep up to her ears, I felt a surge of triumph. Calming Chloe down just took a thick skin and a few sweet words. It was the perfect cure. As the car rounded a bend and in the distance the park's giant Ferris wheel glittered in the sun. Almost there, I said. Chloe glanced out the window and nodded. You should wake Mia up, otherwise she'll be groggy when we get there. I slowed the car and looked back at my sleeping daughter. My heart swelled. This was my home, a little loud, a little chaotic. With the occasional flare of butt overflowing with warmth and belonging, I reached back and patted Mia's leg. Mia, sweetie, wake up. We're at the park. Her eyelashes fluttered. She opened her eyes groggily, rubbed them, then looked outside. The second she spotted the Ferris wheel, she shot upright like she'd been recharged. The park. It's the park. I parked the SUV, and the moment I unbuckled, I heard rustling from the back. Chloe was bent over, trying to get Mia's shoes on, but our daughter was too excited, kicking her feet and chanting, "Hurry, Mommy, hurry. I want to ride the pony. Hold still, you little wiggle worm." I walked around, opened the back door, and scooped Mia into my arms. She immediately wrapped her arms around my neck and planted a big, slobbery kiss on my cheek. Daddy's the best. What about Mommy? Chloe teased as she got out of the car. She had a small backpack with Mia's water bottle and a change of clothes. Her white sneakers and jeans hugged her long legs, enough to make a couple of young guys walking past do a double take. Before pride could even bubble up, Chloe caught me looking her playful, knowing smile already in place. She reached out and wiped the drool from my cheek. Someone sure knows how to win over the kids. Hey now, I said, sliding an arm around her waist and giving her a little tickle. Pleasing my wife is my #1 priority. She swatted me away, laughing. Stop it, Caleb. People are watching. At the park entrance, a long line had already formed. Balloons floated in the air and cheerful music blared from speakers. Mia, perched on my shoulders, pointed excitedly. Daddy, look, that bear is so big, was the park's mascot. A guy in a fluffy blue bear costume, waving and posing for pictures. I'd already bought our tickets online. We walked in, me holding Chloe's hand. While Mia wriggled free and tried to run ahead until Chloe snagged her by the back of her overalls, Slow down, sweetie. You'll fall and hurt yourself. What if you get lost? I won't get lost. I'll stay with Mommy and Daddy, Mia said, hugging Chloe's leg and grinning wide, showing off her 2 tiny new canines. Just inside was the carousel, a blur of colorful horses rising and falling beneath flashing lights. Mia's eyes locked onto it. She tugged Chloe's hand. Mommy, I want to ride that one. Okay, let's get in line, Chloe said after checking the queue, which wasn't too long. I went to grab us some water. I came back. Chloe was crouched down, straightening Mia's overalls. Sunlight filtered through the trees, making a golden halo around her hair. The little boy nearby stared at her until his mom tapped his head. What? Are you looking at? That's somebody else's mommy? I walked over, handed Chloe a bottle, and raised my voice just enough. Here you go, honey. You must be thirsty. She twisted the cap open, sipped, then gave me a sideways glance. What's gotten into you? Nothing, I whispered, leaning close to her ear. I just can't help but think my wife is the most beautiful woman here, and I feel like showing her off. The tips of her ears turned red. She pinched my arm. You're ridiculous. When it was our turn, Mia insisted on the white horse right at the front. I lifted her up and started fastening the safety belt, but she clung to my neck, refusing to let go. Daddy, ride with me. Daddy's too big for this, sweetie, I coaxed. Look, Mommy's waiting for us right over there. Chloe stood outside the railing, her phone up, a smile on her face, as she prepared to take pictures. So I made a deal with Mia. If you ride one whole turn, like a big girl, Daddy will buy you cotton candy. Deal? A pink one? Mia squealed, instantly letting go. You got it? I said. The carousel began to spin, and Mia burst into giggles, waving at us from her horse. Chloe leaned into me, her shoulder brushing mine. I glanced sideways at her. She was watching Mia with that soft, loving smile that always melted me. You think she's going to be even more of a handful when she's older? I asked. She takes after you, Chloe replied, still focused on Mia. You were a little terror as a kid. Who knows what she'll be like? Hey, how does she take after me? I protested. I was a perfect angel. Oh, really? Chloe arched an eyebrow. Because I heard a story from your mom about you chasing the neighbor's chickens and dumping sand in their soup pot. Those are vicious lies, I muttered, cheeks burning. My own mother a traitor. Ride slowed, and I hurried to lift Mia down. She was still buzzing with excitement, begging for another turn. Chloe pulled a wet wipe from her bag and cleaned her hands. Let's try something else first. We can come back later. Okay, Mia nodded eagerly. Then let's go feed the pigeons. The pigeon plaza was crowded with kids. I bought a bag of seeds, and the moment I handed it to Mia, a storm of pigeons swarmed us. She squeaked, shoved the bag into my hands, and hid behind me. You hold it, Daddy. The pigeons are scary. It's okay, sweetheart. They just want a snack. I took her little hand, placed a few seeds in her palm, and guided it out. Pigeon pecked at her skin, making her giggle. Her fear vanished in an instant. Soon she was grabbing fistfuls of seeds to toss on her own. Chloe stood back, recording on her phone, murmuring, "Careful, baby. Don't let them peck too hard." We were laughing and having a good time when I heard someone call my name, Caleb. Vance. I froze. It was Jenna. She wore a white sundress, her hair loose, light makeup highlighting her face. An assistant stood beside her holding birdseed. What a coincidence, Jenna said, walking over with a practiced smile. Fancy seeing you here. Her eyes scanned me head to toe before landing on Chloe. You must be Chloe. I think we met once at the plant. You're even prettier in person. Chloe's face stayed unreadable as she gave a curt nod. My stomach dropped. This was the last thing I needed. You here for fun, too? I asked, trying to sound casual. Kind of. I'm here with my assistant, doing some market research, seeing if we can collaborate with the park. Jenna smiled, then her gaze shifted to Mia, who was still nestled in my arms. Is this your daughter? She's adorable. How old is she? She's 3, I said flatly, hoping to wrap things up. Mia glanced at Jenna, then quickly buried her face in my shoulder. Daddy, who's that lady? She whispered. She's just a client of Daddy's, I murmured, stroking her hair. Before Jenna could add more, Chloe's voice cut and quiet but edged with ice. Mia, let's go to the slides. It's less crowded, okay? Mia wriggled down and grabbed Chloe's hand, tugging her toward the playground. We have to go, I told Jenna quickly, turning to follow. Wait, Jenna called after me. About that component issue? Are you free this afternoon? Wait at the plant. We'll see. I'm with my family today, I replied vaguely before walking away. I caught up to Chloe, only to feel a sharp pinch on my lower back. I winced. Ouch. What was that for? She didn't look at me, just walked ahead with Mia, her tone sharp as glass. That client of yours looks more like an old flame. Don't be ridiculous. She's just a client, I said quickly. You know how she is always too friendly. Too friendly with everyone, or just with you. Chloe suddenly stopped, spun, and glared at me. The way she looks at you, she's practically undressing you with her eyes. You're killing me, Chloe, I said, half laughing and half exasperated. I swear there's nothing going on between us. I'm not interested in her at all. You better not be, she huffed, turning away. Though her grip on my arm loosened, Mia was perched at the top of the slide, sipping from a juice box, her eyes curious. She took a long sip and asked, Mommy, why did you pinch Daddy? Was he bad? Yes, Chloe replied with a straight face. Your daddy was being naughty, attracting bees like a flower. Is Daddy a bee? Mia asked, her big eyes full of confusion. But Daddy doesn't have wings? I couldn't help but laugh. I walked over and lifted her off the slide. Daddy's not a bee, sweetie. He's a butterfly who only flutters around our queen. A laugh slipped from Chloe's lips, and she smacked my arm playfully. Oh, stop with the sweet talk. Mommy laughed. Mia clapped her hands. Daddy, make Mommy laugh again. Easy enough. I set Mia down and, in one swift move, swept Chloe off her feet. She let out a startled yelp, her arms instinctively wrapping around my neck. Caleb, what are you doing? Everyone's watching, she hissed, flustered and red-faced, pounding lightly on my back. Making you laugh, I said, spinning her in a circle. I looked into her flushed face, her angry but shining eyes, and my chest swelled with warmth. See, you're laughing? A few people nearby glanced over. Someone even whistled. Chloe's face deepened, another shade of red, as she struggled to get down. Put me down. This is so embarrassing. I set her back on her feet, and she immediately pinched my side again, but this time it was playful, not sharp. Seriously, though, stay away from that woman. Yes, ma'am, I said, giving her a mock salute, which made her laugh again. Mia giggled with us, holding up her empty juice box. Daddy, I want another one. All right, Daddy will get you one, I said, patting her head. You wait here with Mommy. Don't run off, okay? I went to a nearby kiosk and bought 2 more juice boxes. When I came back, Chloe was crouched down, gently wiping a milk mustache from Mia's face. The late sun bathed them both in golden light. It was a perfect picture. I handed 1 juice box to Chloe. Here, have one too. She took it, but didn't open it, just turned it in her hands. What did Jenna say to you earlier? Just about the parts issue? She asked if I was free this afternoon. I told her no, I answered honestly. You'd better have, she said, standing. It's getting late, and Mia's probably hungry. Let's get something to eat. Sure. What are you in the mood for? Let's try that bistro you mentioned, she said, taking Mia's hand. It's not too far from here. You got it. I took Chloe's other hand. It was soft and warm.
I walked
between us, holding both our hands, humming a little tuneless song. The sun was perfect. A light breeze brushed past, and I was with the 2 people I loved most in the world. Chloe looked up at me and gave a small smile, the tension finally gone. From her eyes, I let out a breath of relief. I was about to say something sweet when my phone buzzed. I glanced down. It was Jenna. My stomach dropped. I quickly hit ignore. Who was it? Chloe asked. Spam call, I lied, shoving the phone back into my pocket. Come on, let's go eat. I'm starving. Chloe gave me a look, but didn't press. Led Mia toward the park exit. I followed behind, a nervous, not twisting in my gut. I just hoped Jenna wouldn't try anything else, but then I heard it. Caleb, wait up. I turned to see Jenna hurrying toward us, her face glowing with a bright smile. "Are you guys leaving?" "I was just getting hungry myself. Why don't we all grab a bite together? I know a fantastic bistro nearby." My stomach sank. I looked at Chloe. Her face was unreadable, but her knuckles had turned white around Mia's tiny hand. This was bad. This was very bad. The moment Jenna's words hung in the air, the atmosphere turned icy. Chloe's face stayed calm, but her grip on Mia told a different story. This was code red. I tried to diffuse it quickly. "Oh, that's okay. It's just a family thing. We won't bother you." "It's no bother at all," Jenna chirped, stepping closer. Her eyes flicked to Chloe. "We're all friends here, right? What's wrong with sharing a meal? Besides, I know the owner of that bistro. I can get us the best table and a discount." My temper started to flare, and I was about to shut her down when Mia, bless her little heart, piped up. Mia held up her half-empty juice box. "Annie, do you drink juice boxes?" "My daddy says only little kids drink these." Jenna's smile froze on her face, clearly not expecting to be checkmated by a 3-year-old. I seized the opportunity. "See? The kid's starving. We've really got to go."
Ow.
"It was nice seeing you." I took Chloe's hand and started to pull her away, but Jenna was like gum stuck to a shoe. She followed right after us. Double quotes. "Hey Caleb, I'm serious. I'm just trying to be nice." "We appreciate the thought," Chloe said. Stopping so suddenly, I almost bumped into her. She turned to face Jenna, a cold smile on her lips. "But when my family eats, we prefer it to be quiet. We don't like being disturbed by outsiders." "I'm sure you understand what that means, Miss Stewart." The message couldn't have been clearer. The air crackled with hostility. Jenna's face finally changed, a mix of embarrassment and indignation. She stammered. "I didn't mean it like that. I hope not." Chloe didn't spare her another glance. She grabbed my arm and Mia's hand, storming off. I looked back and saw Jenna standing there, her face blotchy red and white. She looked like she'd never been shut down so brutally in her life. A small part of me felt bad, but mostly I was just relieved. Knowing Chloe's temper, it was a miracle she hadn't caused an even bigger scene. "Look at the trouble you attract," Chloe muttered once we were a safe distance away, finally letting go of my arm. "How is this my fault?" I pleaded. "I have nothing to do with her. She's the one who won't take a hint." Right. It's everyone else's fault." "You're completely innocent," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I swear to God," I said, raising my hands. "I have zero interest in her. My eyes and my heart are only for you and Mia." Mia, who had been listening closely, chimed in. "Daddy, are Mommy and I in your eyes?" "Can't see us." "You will when you're bigger," I said, pinching her cheek to lighten the mood. But it didn't work. Chloe walked silently to the car, opened the back door, and buckled Mia in. Then she got in the back seat with her, slamming the door and leaving me standing outside. Great, she was still fuming. I sighed and got into the driver's seat. The drive to the bistro was tense and quiet. Even Mia seemed to sense it, sitting silently in her car seat, playing with her fingers. When we arrived, I rushed to open Chloe's door, offering her my hand to help her out. She ignored it completely and strode into the restaurant. "Reservation for Vance?" she told the host, her voice icy. A server led us to a table by the window. Chloe lifted Mia into a high chair and started flipping through the menu, pointedly ignoring me. I leaned in, trying to sound cheerful. "Honey, what looks good? I remember you love the sea bass here. I'm not hungry." She didn't look up. "Mommy, I want barbecue ribs," Mia announced, raising her little hand. "Okay, sweetie. Mommy will order them for you." Chloe's tone instantly softened. She ordered the ribs for Mia and a few other dishes she knew she'd like. Finally, she looked at me. "What do you want? Whatever you're having?" "Not picky," I said quickly. She said nothing more and handed the menu to the server. The food came fast. The sea bass was flaky and bright with lemon caper sauce. The ribs fell right off the bone, perfect for Mia. I put a piece of fish on Chloe's plate. She glanced at it but didn't touch it. I cut a small piece of rib for Mia and she went at it, sauce smearing all over her face. You have some too. Daddy, Mia said, scooping up a bit with her little fork and holding it out to me. Thanks, sweetie. I opened my mouth and let her feed me, a warmth spreading through my chest as we ate. My phone buzzed again. Jenna, I scowled and turned it off completely. Why didn't you answer that? Chloe asked, her voice sharp with acid. What if it's an emergency? What kind of emergency could she possibly have? She's looking for an excuse to bother me, I said, putting the phone away. It's off now, peace and quiet. Chloe gave me a long look, then finally picked up the piece of fish I had served her and began to eat. I let out a silent breath. Maybe, just maybe, storm was passing. I was about to try and coax a smile out of her when a commotion stirred near the restaurant's entrance. Jenna rushed in, looking frazzled, and marched straight to our table. Caleb, why didn't you answer my calls? She demanded, her eyes red as if she had been crying. I froze, stunned. Did this woman not understand plain English? Chloe's face darkened. She set her fork down with a sharp clank. Miss Stewart, what in the world do you want? I stood, my voice hardening. We told you, we're having a family meal. You're not welcome here. I just wanted to apologize, Jenna stammered, her voice cracking. I was out of line this morning. Shouldn't have bothered your family. I even brought a bottle of wine as a peace offering. Please, don't make me leave. Other diners were starting to whisper and stare. My face burned with embarrassment. I was about to call the manager when Chloe spoke. Sit down. I looked at her confused. Her face was calm, almost too calm. Since Miss Stewart is being so sincere, it would be rude not to share a drink with her, wouldn't it? Jenna's eyes lit up. She quickly pulled up a chair beside me and set a bottle of red wine on the table. Thank you, Chloe. I knew you were a nice person. I had a bad feeling. A waiter came over, opened the wine, and poured a little for the three of us. Jenna raised her glass. Caleb, Chloe, a toast. I'm truly sorry about this morning. Please, don't hold it against me. Chloe didn't touch her glass. She just stared at Jenna. Miss Stewart, let me ask you something. Of course, Chloe. Anything? Are you in love with my husband? Her voice wasn't loud, but it sliced through the restaurant chatter like a knife. Jenna's smile shattered. Her face turned crimson. No, Chloe, you've got it all. Wrong, Chloe? Let out a short, sharp laugh. Then why have you been calling him constantly? Why did you follow us here? What exactly are you trying to do? I just think Caleb is a great guy. I just want to be friends. Friends? Chloe lifted her glass and took a slow sip. Let me tell you something, Miss Stewart. Caleb Vance is my husband. He's the father of my child. He belongs to me from the hair on his head to the soles of his feet, if you want to be friends. Fine. But if you have any other ideas about him, don't be surprised when I make life very unpleasant for you. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with a chilling intensity that made Jenna flinch. I really didn't mean Jenna's. Eyes filled with tears. I look up to him. Look up to him all you want. But don't cross the line, Chloe said, setting her glass down. I'll drink this wine, and we'll consider your apology accepted. But this is the one and only time. If I ever see you bothering him again, I'll personally make sure you have a very hard time doing business in this city. The threat was brutal, direct, and impossible to misinterpret. Jenna's face went pale, then flushed, then pale again. Tears spilled down her cheeks. She stood abruptly. I'm so sorry to have bothered you. I'll go now. She turned and fled, covering her face, leaving the half-full bottle of wine behind. The other diners, satisfied with their dose of drama, turned back to their meals. I looked at Chloe. When she got angry, she was terrifying. Did you have to be so harsh? I asked quietly. If I'm not, will she get the message? Chloe shot me a glare. With people like her, you have to shut them down completely, once and for all. Saves us trouble down the road, I had to admit she was right, blunt, but effective. So, we finally eat in peace now? I asked cautiously. Chloe didn't answer. Instead, she picked up a piece of rib, held it to my lips, and smirked. Here, this should keep you quiet. I quickly took it, my heart soaring. Maybe the storm was finally passing. Mommy, You were so cool just now. Mia clapped her hands. Like her mom had just defeated a supervillain that finally broke the tension. Chloe laughed and pinched Mia's cheek. You're the sweet talker. The rest of the meal was calm. After I paid the bill, I lifted Mia into my arms. Chloe walked beside me, linking her arm through mine. Did I scare you back there? She asked softly. Not at all. I smiled. My wife's a total badass. Makes me proud. Oh, shut up, she said, giving my arm a playful pinch, more affectionate than angry. On the way home, Mia fell asleep in my arms. Soft music played. In the car, and Chloe leaned her head on my shoulder. Still thinking about Jenna? I asked. No. She shook her head. Just tired. We'll get you home so you can rest. It was almost 9 by the time we got back. I carefully laid Mia in her bed and pulled the covers over her. Chloe went to the bathroom, brought back a warm washcloth, and gently wiped Mia's face. By the time we had both showered and collapsed into our own bed, it was nearly 10. The only light came from the soft glow of a bedside lamp. Chloe lay with her back to me, silent. I knew she was unsettled. I wrapped my arms around her from behind, resting my chin on the top of her head. Still mad at me? I asked. She didn't move. Or speak. I swear, Chloe, there's nothing between me and Jenna, I whispered, brushing a kiss against her ear. From now on, I'll keep my distance. Work only. I won't say a word to her unless it's necessary. Still silence. Honey, don't give me the silent treatment, I murmured, my hand stroking her face. If you're angry, yell at me. Hit me. Just don't keep it bottled up. A hand slid from her cheek down her neck until I cupped her breast. Her body tensed for a moment, but she didn't pull away. I knew then I was in the clear. Gently, I turned her to face me in the dim light. Her eyes looked impossibly deep. I lowered my head and kissed her. She hesitated at first, then softened, her lips responding to mine. The kiss deepened, hungry and urgent. Chloe, I breathed against her skin. I want you. She didn't speak. She just wrapped her arms around my neck, pulling me closer. That was all the answer I needed. The room grew hotter, our gasps and moans weaving together in a rhythm only we shared. Much later, when everything quieted again, I held her close. Her head rested on my chest, her breathing soft, her cheeks glowing. Still angry? I whispered, stroking her hair. She shook her head and nuzzled closer. Not anymore. Good. No more crazy ideas then. It's your fault for attracting so much attention, she mumbled, giving me a soft pinch. Yes, my fault. I chuckled. From now on, I'll be the perfect husband. She laughed, tilting her head to kiss my chin. Go to sleep. I'm exhausted. Okay. I switched off the lamp, plunging the room into darkness. I held Chloe tighter, breathing in the faint scent of gardenias on her skin, and felt peace wash over me. A lively little girl and a beautiful, jealous wife life had its storms, but they were always drowned out by an ocean of happiness and love. This was everything I could ever want. Hey, Chloe's soft voice murmured in the dark. You'd better be up early tomorrow. It's your turn to take Mia to preschool. I smiled and gave her hip a squeeze.